On the first point, I think that the one thing that that seems to have worked. It's not in general. Some people say, well, it's because we've had this big fiscal tightening. America has still been pumping money in, and it's had a Keynesian stimulus. That hasn't been the case. I mean, America has been tightening as well, a less publicised way and slightly less dramatically than here. But they have been moving in the same direction in terms of reducing the budget deficit. I think it's because people get confused by this because they haven't really set it out in as clear a way as we have here. So it's it's a little bit stealthier. The one thing that seems to have worked is the payroll tax cut in America. Whereas we had the national insurance rise that came through in April last year. It went through for employees. Most of it was offset by other measures in terms of employers, but the tendency here has been to increase the cost of employing people, whereas there was an explicit move to reduce the cost of employing people through the payroll tax in America, and I think that has had an effect on the labour market. But I just think the other thing is that although there is the aftermath of the crisis and all this all the Occupy Wall Street stuff that we've seen and so on, and a lot of criticism of the banks out there, but I think they've just sort of almost made a decision to get over it much more quickly. So I think we're still, wallowing in the crisis, doing the post-mortems, wondering, which banker we can string up next and so on. Whereas I think they've moved on a little bit more. I think, most of the people who are in charge have moved on. There are exceptions, and I think maybe it's the American way to sort of just pick yourself up a bit more quickly than we do here. Whereas we think about these things a lot more. We have the postmortems, as I say. I think there's a sort of there's certainly a little bit more dynamism there. I mean, on the corporate tax rate, I mean, it's an interesting point. I mean, I think the difference is that there are many more reliefs that American corporations can use to bring down their the effective tax rate. I should have brought along a chart to accompany that one on the headline rate. If you look at the effective tax rate paid, the difference is a lot smaller. So I think it's the use of reliefs which means that they can have a very high corporate tax rate, but without driving every business to Canada or somewhere. But I think that's the difference. Yeah.